Hey guys, it's Athena. Welcome back to my channel. Long time no see. I feel like I haven't recorded anything for almost 2 weeks, I think. But I am back at it with a makeup get ready with me today, so I'm really excited for that. Just have my Diet Coke here with me. Today I was really inspired by kind of like medieval, kind of like a milk maiden-esque type of feel, with the poofy sleeves. This is a Fashion Nova dress. Fashion Nova is like, I think, my favorite fashion company right now. I don't have any other of their clothes besides this dress, but they have just the most trendy, really cute. A lot of their clothing right now reminds me of like early Britney Spears, with like, there's some shirts that have like a lot of poofy sleeves and then sort of like details where there's like fabric on the arm and it's like flowy and it's really cool, and it's like all different types of like shapes and stuff. So I really like that. Fashion Nova definitely has to be like my favorite brand of clothing right now. But yes, I am just wearing one of their dresses, and yeah, I thought we could just do like kind of a fun get ready with me. And I tried to curl my hair. I don't know how great it turned out, but I gave it a shot for today. I brushed it out just a little bit, and then if you guys notice this little ring on my forehead, my mom tries, or she does the cupping thing where you like suction cup different areas of like your back and like on your legs and stuff to like help with like pain and like relieve pressure and stuff. And I was really dumb, and me and Stella were playing around with it, and so I suction cupped my forehead, and the little like stain like thing it made like won't go away. So I'm like praying that it goes away really fast. But this is like almost a week with it still staying, so I really hope it goes away. Um, I have some new beauty products that I'm going to be using in this video, so I'm excited for that. It's not going to be just like same old the whole time. So I do have some new stuff to be playing and working with. I am going to try a new primer. There were these little box deals that you could get from Walmart, and we got a couple of the boxes, and they came with like skincare, makeup stuff, and then also a primer as well. And I'm just trying to find it. Okay. So I'm going to use my L'Oreal Infallible Pro Glow, but then I'm also going to go in with this Maybelline New York Master Prime. And this is a primer, just so you guys can see. I have like holographic nails. I don't know if you can tell that well in this lighting, but then the ring finger is like glittery. But yeah. So yeah, I'm going to go in with this primer, and it'll be my very first time ever using this. It says it's good for a year. It'll last you, so it's a decent size, I feel like. I don't know how much I should use or anything, but I'm just going to take like a little dollop of it and work that in. Sorry if I seem a little like anxiety ridden in this video. I feel a little nervous, a little, I don't know, just kind of like, I've been having a little bit of a tough time with like depression, anxiety, that kind of stuff. And you know, I feel like that's the way of the world right now. I feel like everyone in America is like Prozac Nation kind of thing. I don't know if you've ever seen that movie with Christina Ricci. It's really good. It's really a hard movie to watch, but I think it's really good. But yeah, I feel like everybody is really sort of going through the rings of fire, as Johnny Cash would say. I definitely am. And it's interesting because it's like, I feel like I gain more and more clarity and more information, and I get like wiser, but then I still for some reason can't seem to like overcome myself, and like really like being in your own way is like something that I really struggle with, like self-sabotage. So that can make stuff like really hard, because if you're your own enemy, then I mean, who's on your team, you know? Like, it can be kind of hard. Let's see. So the primer felt really nice. I liked it a lot. Um, it doesn't feel like too greasy or anything. It made the skin have like a nice kind of texture to it. A nice, ooh, I have an eye boogie. Yeah, it doesn't feel, it does feel, it just feels highly moisturized. Like my skin feels like it's ready for makeup. So that's a good thing. Let's see. And I stopped using my beauty blender just for right now because I need to get a new one. So I just went back to old school using a foundation brush. And I'm just going to go in with the Infallible Pro Glow. And just put that on my brush. And I forgot how to use a brush from when I used to, before beauty blenders existed. I think the beauty blender came out in like 2013. The like beauty blender brand like really blew up in 2013. I was still using a foundation brush at the time. And you just like stipple it on your face. But I had to like reteach myself what to do. Because I had forgot what it was like to use a foundation brush. I've been working with my insurance to see like a therapist and to be able to have someone to talk to and stuff, just about everything, which I think is really important. So insurance can be crazy to like jump through the hoops of it and everything, but I am actively, I found a really great therapist that I really like, and she seems really, really great and like very grounded, and I'm gonna try and be one of her patients, clients. I think even like, it doesn't even, I think just talking to somebody promotes like a healthy mind. And even if you don't feel like you struggle with like depression or anxiety or anything, like even just talking to someone, getting a non-judgmental perspective can be very refreshing and good for you. Like I think that, I don't know, I feel like a lot of times the people that we get advice from can be sometimes like blunt about things and maybe set in their own biases. So it's nice. And of course, everybody has a little bit of a bias. Don't get me wrong, but I feel like sometimes it's nice to have like an outside third party kind of, take on something. I feel like that's important. And one of my eyelashes, there we go, I got it. So yeah, that's a step, in the right direction. I don't want to just let it continue to, go and not do anything about it. Because I never had the sensation of like wanting to, stop trying. I always feel like I always want to keep going, and I have like an ember inside of me that always is burning, and I always want to keep the fight and everything. But it can be, life can be hard, and it's important to like look out for yourself and, be your own best advocate. But like I said, I mean, struggling with like self-sabotage is hard too. And of course, you guys know my one of my favorite girls on YouTube, Trisha Paytas. She struggles with that as well. She openly talks about it. And I definitely can like resonate with everything that she says, and I really do get where she's coming from. A lot of the time, I don't agree with everything that she says and does, but on a human level, I feel like I really do empathize with Trisha, and I feel like she is a really like great person. And everybody has kind of like their flaws and their vices, and but for her, she is just a really open and raw, honest person, and I think that is why she's had so much success, is because I think that there's like just a genuineness to her and her life and her mistakes, her ups and downs, and I just have always liked that she sort of, she owns the truth of her life and sort of doesn't paint a picture that like life is like perfect and stuff. Like even though she's found success, she still struggles, which I think that that's really humbling, and it's nice to see that just because somebody has made a lot of money, it doesn't necessarily mean that they're happy. Because a lot of times we equate money with happiness. At least, I don't always equate it with happiness. I kind of look at money as like maybe like you have more resources to have a better life, but not necessarily that it makes you like happy. Um, but yeah, I'm on like a weird tangent. Sorry. But yeah, I have been going, well, I've met someone, so I went on a couple dates with them and spent like a weekend together with this person, and that's going really great. I'm going to see them today actually, so I'm excited for that. Um, and I feel really grateful for that. It's really nice to have someone to talk to and express yourself to, and be open and have like a very like good kind of chemistry together. That feels really really nice. And like just not. I think it's important to just like let go with the flow, and I think also um, part of me is like afraid of things going right, and it because it's so unfamiliar to me, as well as like I feel like sort of the narrative that life had given me at one time was that life had been hard and it wasn't fair, and all that kind of stuff. But then I kind of have kept that narrative as my life, and that I'm always in this like I'm not doing okay kind of like state, and I really really don't want that for myself. I don't want my narrative to be that life is a struggle and that life is hard anymore. I want to change the narrative of my life and my thoughts about my life, and be able to say, you know what, there might be extra ish thrown my way, but I have been a survivor and I've made it through a lot, and I'm going to continue to make it. And it's almost like it's weird because I feel like I struggle with when people ask how you're doing. Now, I know that there's the casual, how are you doing when you're just, talking to your professors, when you're talking to your fellow student friend, anything like, we just say like, oh, how are you? And we're like, oh, I'm fine. And that's fine. But I find that when like, especially when family asks me and they're like, how are you doing? I never want to be like, oh, I'm fine, because it's like, you feel like the integrity of your situation and how you feel is jeopardized by just saying I'm fine. At least for me, because I feel like if I say, oh, I'm fine, then I feel like they wouldn't know that something isn't fine. But I don't. My grandmother and I are like really really close. We're like a knot, like a triple knot. She is like a second mother to me, and she has helped me through so much in my life. I talk to her almost every single day, twice a day, sometimes 3 times a day. Like she's like my best friend, and she's kind of like I really enjoy her wisdom and like everything that she's there for me, and how she helps me and everything. And even just I really love her personality. She can be really funny and great. So what was I saying? When I talk to her, I'm always kind of like, I'm hanging in there. I'm doing okay. I'm never like, oh, I'm fine. Like I'm good, because I don't want anyone to like mistake me saying I'm fine for being like happy. And I think that I'm almost afraid of happiness, because it's not normal to me to be happy in life, or to not feel like, I don't know, like life is against you. And like I said, look, I really want to change the narrative of that and be able to like flip that and be like, I'm okay, I'm doing okay. I'm doing good. I'm working through it. I got this. Have that kind of mentality. But it is hard because you don't want the integrity of what you're going through jeopardized by saying something like that. Which I don't think it is, but as somebody who's just aware of that, that's kind of how I feel sometimes about it. Then like I don't always feel as comfortable stating like, oh yeah, I'm fine. But that's just a little, I don't know, ramble about that. But I think being in control of your life's narrative is really, really critical and important. And that's why I feel like and I've said it like a million times, but that's why I feel like YouTube is so powerfully positive, because this is where I write my story, and I vocalize it and write it and show it to the world in any way that I choose to. And that just feels really powerful and special and nice. Because I feel like even as a person, like, I feel like I never, like, the sort of growing up mentality where you, like, realize, like, oh, well, I'm a person and I have differences and I have feelings and I have wants and needs and desires and, all that kind of stuff. Because I don't feel like as, like, growing up, I really thought of things like that, or really was able to have, like, like while you're just growing up, I don't know, like you don't really think about that kind of stuff. And it's not really discussed, like kind of like everybody makes decisions, not necessarily for you, but like everyone kind of, you just go with the flow of whatever. But then when you reach the point where you're like, no, I'm my own person, like I have my own thoughts and opinions, and my own ideas of like how life should be, and stuff like that. It's interesting to notice that there's that shift, because I definitely noticed that in myself. You start seeing people as like three-dimensional, and like I always thought like, my mom was like a superhero, and she could do no wrong and all this kind of stuff, and she is absolutely wonderful, and I would consider her like a superhero. But at the same time, she's also three-dimensional, and she's a person, and she makes mistakes. There's things about my mom that I don't agree with. There's, like with everybody, there's things that she doesn't agree with me about. And so seeing that three-dimensionality it's a blessing and a curse, because you're able to you're like, okay, well, I can make my own narrative, and I don't have to live someone else's narrative. But then at the same time, it can be hard, because you're like, wait, I thought that my mom and family could do no wrong, and like everyone was really perfect and all of that. And not that necessarily that their actions are perfect, but I think like when someone is humanized, it can be a little scary and a little kind of like, oh, like this person is in the same boat with me, and we're both feeling the boat kind of life rocking, and that type of thing. So it can be very interesting to experience. But yeah, I'm just going to take that on the sides of my nose. Try and snatch my nose a little bit. And, I often think sometimes about doing like, story times, or videos where I talk about like people that have been in my life and stuff, but sometimes I feel really hesitant about that because I don't feel like that person gave permission to sort of be talked about, so I don't always feel like that's the best thing to do, like involve other people, because I know a lot of YouTubers do story times on like a lot of different things, and even people who have done me wrong or that have done me right, who have done great things for me, even like I feel kind of a catch-22 about expressing that because I don't feel like they gave their consent. Like I don't feel like they necessarily are 100% on board with, you know, having that information shared or even being talked about. And even if you give someone a fake name, I mean, still I feel like there's a little bit of a kind of a privacy breach a little bit. Like I feel like it's not I don't know, as respectful as not saying it. But I don't know. I guess it's just kind of like I see people and like they'll do like my worst date ever story times, and I just feel bad. I'm like, well, that story is about someone, you know, like that's someone, and then they kind of don't get to explain themselves or sort of give their, you know, thoughts and opinions on things. Okay, so where the new makeup that I have comes in is I did use the primer. It was the Master Primer. Then I'm going to go in. I'm going to try this blush for the first time. It almost looks like a bronzer. It's called Rose, and it's by Milani too. And it's kind of like this. Oh, it still has the plastic on it. It's kind of like, it's not raisin, but it is like a kind of like a brown like rose color. So I'm gonna try that. I've never used a blush like that before. And I think it's actually really beautiful. Because I typically do like the pink rosy cheeks and like peachy colors and not really like any sort of like flushed kind of like a little bit of darker toned blushes ever. But this one's actually really beautiful. The lighting isn't so great to where you can really see it, but it is really, really nice. I actually really, really love it. Yay! I was scared that it wouldn't go well, so I'm glad that it did go well. Okay, now let's go in. This is really fun. This is a hard candy lip plumper. I'm gonna try this. They always kind of hurt a little bit because it like brings the blood to your lips. It's kind of like a pepperminty kind of feeling, but I'll just try it. And this is Hard Candy Max Pout Lip Plumping Serum. So it's just like that. Oh, I can feel it. It definitely has that like pepperminty kick to it. Just like that. Sorry if the lighting is kind of dark. I always have to like brighten up the camera settings. For some reason the light isn't coming in that well today, even though it's only 3 o'clock right now, but for some reason the light isn't coming in that great. And then within the beauty pack that we got, it came with this, and this. And then there were 2 other things, but my mom kept those. I was going to try this today, the Wet n Wild Liquid Cat Suit. Look, it has a little cat girl on there. Looks like Catwoman. I love that. I don't typically wear colors like this, but I thought I'll try it with like this blush. Kind of like these muted like rose tones I thought were kind of cool. I don't know how to describe them. And then it also came with this Almay Goddess Gloss. Look at that. Isn't that beautiful? that is just like the sparkle is really great. And this is in the color, if you're curious, I guess it doesn't, oh, it's number 200, Angelic. So Goddess Gloss in Angelic. And the lip plumper doesn't actually hurt. It doesn't, I remember there was this one lip plumper I used to use by Physicians Formula, and that really kind of hurt. But this one doesn't feel as intense. It just feels really hydrating. So if you wanted to try this, I definitely recommend. It's the Max Pout by Hard Candy. So then, let's see. I also have a setting spray I'm going to be using. This is an illuminating makeup setting spray by Found. I've never heard of that brand before. And it says Stardust is the type it is. I'm not finished with my makeup yet, but we can just try it. We'll see how... definitely has that kind of like alcohol smell to it. But yeah, I think it's going good. I think we're doing good. We're doing good. I have still been struggling with my eating, even after making that video. And I love how I was like, and I'm going to be more accountable, and this is going to keep me accountable, and all this stuff. And then literally it's like it still is an issue, and I'm really, really like, I'm so just tired of this problem. Like it really, oh, it's like my vice, and my go-to when I need like to feel comforted is definitely through food. And like I ate a whole box of cereal yesterday and today by myself. It's the Honey O's. I just couldn't stop eating them. Like, it's like, I don't know, like it just made me happy in the moment. And like, I guess because it tastes good, and then I just keep eating bowls and bowls of cereal. And I try and remind myself that it's not the end of the world. Like, it's not like it's that big of, I mean, it is a big deal because it's not healthy, and, you know, it's coming from a place of like, you know, feeling kind of like you need, like, comforted, but at least it's not like, oh, hold on one second. Sorry about that. Okay, so now I'm going to go in with this gel lip liner. And this is the Wet n Wild one. And then I'm going to try the Mega Last Liquid Catsuit. And what was I saying? Oh yeah, about the eating thing. So still working on that, you guys. Wow, I actually really like this color. It's a lot lighter than in the tube. So it's just like that. I really like the color, you guys. It's really beautiful. It's like not too intense, but not too subtle. This is the color Flirt Alert. And I'm just going to go in with the lip liner and touch up and kind of shape my lips a little bit more. Hi, Monet. What also kind of inspired this look was that there's this movie called Dangerous Liaisons. I thought it was liaisons, but it's a French word, liaisons. And it has Glenn Close, Michelle Pfeiffer, and what's that guy's something? John Malkovich. John Malkovich is in it, and it was such an amazing movie. I really loved it. It was really crazy and sad and romantic and chaotic and like super drama, but it's filmed in like a kind of I don't think it's Renaissance. I think it's like late 1800s or late 1700s, probably like mid to late 1700s. And it's just like a romance kind of drama movie, but it was really great. I thought John Malkovich was so beautiful. Michelle Pfeiffer, Glenn Close, they all did like such an amazing job for that movie. Okay, and then this is I'm actually gonna do my little trick where I pat the lips. Just like that, because I don't think that this liquid catsuit, I don't think that this is a, yeah, it just says that this is a high shine lipstick. I thought it was a liquid lipstick, but it's not. And then I'm going to top it off with this Wet n Wild Color Icon lip gloss, and this is in Aquarius. And it's just this kind of like gold speck nude. Um, but that also kind of inspired my outfit for today. I felt like really inspired by that movie and just sort of like how, you know, that time period's fashions with like the corsetry and the layers and the gowns and the wigs and the powders and the everything and the makeup. So fun, so fascinating. Okay, and then now I'm going to put on my mascara. It's funny because sometimes I go back and try and follow my own makeup tutorials. um, there's looks where I'm like, wow, I really like that look. And like then I don't even know how to repeat my own makeup look. I'm like, I don't know what I did. I don't think I've ever followed a makeup tutorial like how you're supposed to. I feel like everyone, we just watch them, but we don't. I mean, yeah, I learn like tips and tricks, but other than that, like I don't follow them like with a blank face and then start like how they do or anything. I just kind of watch them. Okay, there's that. And then I might do a second coat of mascara. Ooh, my leg keeps falling asleep. I might do a second coat of mascara, but that is that right now. And then I put on a little bit of this this body bronzer thing, but I'm also gonna go in with this one's kind of like a bronzing kind of. I've used this before with the big kabuki brush, and I'm just gonna take a little bit of that and go on my just to give some like shine. I'm gonna do on my collarbones, on the shoulder plural, and then right here, kind of like the whole décolleté area, and then even on my neck a little bit. So just like that, you can see it in it reflecting, and then you just go through and you blend that in, and it just gives your skin like a really nice touch. Because you know, I mean, my skin, I have like stretch marks and discoloration and hyperpigmentation and just the works. So when you do your makeup, it's nice to balance it too with like on your body as well. Just a little extra step, like especially if you were going out and for pictures, or, you know, in the sun, it'll look really nice, like you've been like bronzed and kissed by the sun with some, you know, glimmer and shimmer. And it just kind of helps add with the, if you have a full face of makeup, and then if you also just do a little bit of touch, like maybe on your legs, you could use it as well. I like to wear pantyhose, but if you wanted to put some makeup on your body as well, this is just the NYX Bright Idea. And I think this is just supposed to be a highlighter, and it's in the shade Chardonnay Shimmer. I've used it before. But yeah, I really recommend all the lip products I use. I loved this liquid catsuit, and I loved the Aquarius lip gloss that I used. I'm not sure where I put it actually. Oh, it's right here. So I used these two together. So, and it kind of just gave me that like really nice kind of pinky nude kind of color, which I really, really like. And again, the shimmer stuff just kind of helps keep this area like looking really glowy and healthy and highlighted and like that. And yeah, I think that concludes, or I guess I could do a touch of eyeshadow too. I'm trying to think, like I want to pull out all the stops for today's look. I'm like, let's go all in. Okay, so I'm gonna take my Glitter Bomb palette that I always use, and I'm gonna go in with the white shade and do that in the inner corner. And just blend that really nicely. But I guess my one point that I can make is that even if you feel like you're at rock bottom, never give up. Always keep going. This too shall pass. That is like my number one thing. Like in the past, I've had to get through things in my life, and I'm glad that I did, because now I get to experience all the wonderful things that have happened in life since those moments. And I think it's just really important to just keep going. Don't ever give up, even when times are hard, even when there's clouds, you know, in the sky. Everything is temporary. You know, never do a permanent solution to a temporary situation. Let's see. This is the Tardiest Pro palette. My mom actually got this for Christmas, and I just was going to borrow it from her. And it has some really nice nude kind of colors, and I think I'm going to go in with one of the brown shades and just take that and blend that in my eye. There's the shade Innocent and Whimsy that I really like. I'm just going to take that. And it smells really, really nice too. Has a really nice smell to the... I believe Tarte is the company that makes like the chocolate bar palette and the peach palette and all that kind of stuff. So this smells like kind of like chocolate a little bit. I just like having a little bit of, I got a little bit into eyeshadow, like having just a little bit of dimension with the eye can really help make your eyes pop and just the whole look in general. But I just blend that. I'm really bad with eyeshadows, you guys. Like, I wish I could do like a cut crease and all that kind of stuff. I don't even know what I do. I just kind of put it on my eye and like try and blend as much as I can. But yeah, I think that is going to conclude this look. And I figure that it's best to wait to do a video until I feel like I'm in the right mindset, mind place, and not force a video out of myself, because then I feel like maybe I'll have like bad energy and I'll just kind of come across as like not as lively and not as much as myself as I'd really want to come across. So I apologize for having a little bit of a later video, but thank you guys so much for watching. I love you with all my heart, and I look forward to talking to you guys in the comments down below. Special shout out to Alan. He is a really amazing person who has watched so many of my videos, like literally almost all of them, and he always has the sweetest, kindest comments. You're amazing, Alan. Thank you so much for all your support and everybody's support and love in my comment sections. All my friends here on YouTube, you guys are amazing. And I'll see you in my next video, okay guys? Mwah!